Where do you want to start, Chris?
We can start so we start talking about Nick Gage.
Probably, yeah. We should.
We should start. You should start there.
Yeah. So, welcome everybody to the Wrestling Paradox podcast, and again, I am your interim co-host, Chris Lawson, and your actual host, as always,
the best looking face in wrestling podcast today. This guy.
His name is Chris Thrasher. They
know me. They know me.
Oh, okay. We got it. All right. Don't big league me here. So we're gonna get started. And as we said last time, I believe it was between Warrior, Nick Gage, and a Von Erich episode, and we were gonna let Joe pick. Joe didn't. We picked by the end of the episode. It was Nick Gage is what we're doing. So we are going to talk a little deathmatch wrestling, which I have opinions. And I'm sure Chris Thrasher does too. But before we get to our very bold and very unapologetic opinions, let me get to
outlaw mud wrestling.
Exactly. Before we do that, I'm waving this around. People are gonna be like, "What the hell is that?" It's a gun lighter. Pretty cool. I just found it on my desk, so gonna enjoy that later. So M&J, if you find something other than a fun little gimmick lighter, and you find an iguana, a snake, or any sort of pest, your neighbor, M&J Ecological is your people to call. Marcus at M&J Ecological at 305-697-2258. I got it smoother that time.
There you go.
I'll still leave the graphic up for you a little extra long because we haven't posted in a minute, and I suck. It's me. It's not Chris Thrasher. It's me. DDP. So M&J and always our friends that we will hopefully soon be able to collab with on a little bit more stuff. But for now, they're just this really great show that we like to watch every Tuesday at CCW Live Wrestling. But I know Chris, my cousin Miami Mike always tells me that he's at the shows, and he gives him a high five. Yeah, he notices you. He notices, he notices his few fans. And
you should tell him that he reminds me of Waylon Jennings.
Dude, I can't. Well, he told me that he would really like to use Waylon Jennings' Lonesome, Honorary, and Mean as a come-out song. But maybe if I get a little singles action, maybe if my cousin Miami Mike gets a little singles action, I'm doing a tag right now. He's doing a tag right now with the great Vic Arson and the incorrigible Lou Spector as their manager. But
that is a really loose word that you're
he's a curmudgeon, but we love him, and he's at CCW. So if you want to check all that out and check why I'm being so aloof and weird and not consistent, check out CCW Live Wrestling on YouTube, and also check them out on Twitter at CCWFL, I believe.
Yep.
There it is. All right, so without further ado,
wait. I've got something. I have something special.
Okay.
All right.
The best looking face in wrestling podcast is back. All right, and Eric Christopher, June 20th, coming to see you, buddy. And you, best looking face and you. How you doing, sir?
Second best looking face.
The second best. I'll be right back.
Your third best. Are you gonna join us?
He's doing a running. He's doing a running
tonight.
Okay, I like this. This.
I just found out about an hour ago, right?
About an hour. Took a little break, obviously.
The Seinfeld pop in. The Seinfeld.
Yeah. I am not back.
You just played the song. It says you're back.
Jody, calm the fuck down, Jody. I'm not back. Okay? Jesus.
I believe the lyrics of the song are "I'm back better than ever. Got a knack for making things better." They might have to change that line for you, Joe.
I don't know if the camera's wide enough. But your beard's been in the gym about 9 times a week. It's twice a day. You know.
Why he hasn't hit on the show? He had a breast reduction.
Exactly. This is a large. Yeah. So Eric Christopher, see you June 20th, pal.
He's been training. You look good. You look good.
Thank you. Thank you. It is a pleasure to be back. Thank you for filling in. Thank you for
looking this good.
Always being Chris Thrasher. That's his real name, Bo.
Yeah, Bo Tavian. That's my real name.
Actual name.
So yeah, we're gonna start off with Nick Gage. This is actually a really special one because of the fact that is Joe's favorite deathmatch wrestler.
False.
He likes Schlack now.
I must encourage everybody that Schlack187 on Instagram is the reason I have decided to change my lifestyle.
Well, that's right. He hit you back up, right?
He did. And he's going to buy me a beer. And I'm flying to Philadelphia to get tattooed by that man on the phone. I'm tattooing Schlack's face on my face. That's the goal.
And then you're going to become a deathmatch wrestler?
Alex Ocean. Ciao, pal.
Wow. And the crowd goes mild.
Well, I'm not back.
Play the song again. Play the song.
He's actually going to pull do you remember Glenn from Tom Green?
Yeah.
He's
just gonna sit here. I'm gonna listen to you guys. If I don't agree, I'm gonna step in. If I agree with what you're saying, you're not gonna know I'm here.
What?
Shout out to my boy Jackal Stevens.
He got you a burrito?
No, it's not a turkey burger, but I'm stealing his idea. I'm gonna eat on the podcast.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Yeah. So you guys go, man. Do your fucking show.
All right, let's go. Let's do this then. Where do you want to start, Chris?
We can start so we start talking about Nick Gage.
Probably, yeah. We should.
We should start. You should start there.
Yeah. So it does the classic Tarantino thing. It does the documentary thing where they show us the crazy thing that happened, and then we circle back, which I didn't like for this one. I felt like let's build up. Give me. No, I guess Intervention does the same thing where they show you how bad it is and then they go backwards. But I would have preferred a different way.
Yeah, no, it's
Hi. You guys ever seen that shoot interview with Billy Gunn and Jesse James? And Billy Gunn's eating cheeseburgers. This is what it's like, but Joe's not Billy Gunn, but he's eating a burrito.
I love the topic of Nick Gage. I think this episode left a lot on the table. Because it just stopped after the David Arquette, you know, there was more. It came to an abrupt halt.
Do you mean like the way they actually made the documentary?
Yeah.
I feel like they were banking on that being the big ending, but see, they did a couple things. They Tarantino'd it, so they showed you the main thing that was fucked up, and then they went backwards, and then they gave you the thing that you wanted. But in the trailer, they gave
everything away.
Yeah. So it was just like, why? So you ended. See, that would have been reversed. The David Arquette part should have been the part that they started with. To be like, this motherfucker is crazy.
Suck people in because you're having more people see that eyes or right at 9 o'clock. That's starting.
Exactly.
Eyes are coming across that channel. Dude, David Arquette's on my TV right now. What the fuck's going on?
Dude, exactly. If you started out with David Arquette's like freaking out face when it happened, like I'm in. Even if I'm not a wrestling fan, I'm in.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Miami Mike's cousin filled in for us. Thanks, Chris Lawson.
Chris Lawson.
Yeah.
Collier County Chris here.
Yeah, Collier County Chris.
Please continue.
I had to say it in my head again. What? You know, and I think they should have went more in depth into his deathmatch beginnings a little bit more. I think they just skimmed over that pretty quick.
And I felt like they had a lot of footage of that.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they had hours and hours of it. I mean, I'm watching IWTV right now, and I can go on CCW's like promotion page, and I go all the way back to 2003.
Yeah, and like it's like you show a little bit of that, but then they kept cutting back to the same shows that they just kept cutting to different parts of the same show that they're like, show me other. Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't get I felt that way with the Warrior one too, which is a separate topic, but I felt like now they're just like, we're not going to give you enough. We'll give you a little bit, but we're not. I don't fucking know. What are you doing? What are you looking at?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time he's in front of a green screen.
Oh, is that okay? You wondering?
I had a magic cookie before the show started. You can edit that out. That's cool.
I watched him do that, and that's why I chuckled. I went like that, and then he slowly did it again.
Yeah, he kept looking back. I was like, you see my eye line? Am I looking at something?
No. Oh, man.
All right, so cut that. But do you want me to keep looking back? That was kind of funny.
No, don't keep looking back. Don't keep looking back.
No, I want you to keep chomping on that burrito and make
burrito's double wrapped, by the way.
Well, we can't cut it a lot of it out because then continuity wise, you're gonna be like halfway down the burrito.
I'm so sorry. I continue. I'm so sorry.
Pace yourself. Go Broadway with that burrito.
Nibbles, just nibbles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think with them losing, you were talking about the Warrior episode. When it gets to, Joe and I were talking about this on the phone last week. It's he made mention that he thinks that it almost feels like Dark Side of the Ring is losing topics to talk about.
Yes.
And everything like that. That he's now he said they're going towards people, and
instead of moments of time that captured the essence of wrestling, it's now becoming, let's look at Ultimate Warrior's life. Let's look at Nick Gage's life. Like,
well, it's also like, do you think that's because they're running out of stuff to talk to, or there's just?
Oh, they could have did a whole segment on the David Arquette thing. They could have did the whole build up, the whole fucking match, everything. That was a segment in deathmatch wrestling that meant something.
Well, for wrestling fans, I feel like that would have been the David Arquette's story in wrestling is a Dark Side of the Ring. Is it?
Or yes,
no, it's got its own movie. It's on Hulu. No, it is.
As far as the Dark Side of the Ring, that like, don't you think that actually like not that's something?
No, I don't think so.
No, nothing particularly fucked up happened, but in the wrestling world, don't you think that it was fucked up the way
he ruined WCW? He ruined WCW.
So isn't that a dark?
Did not have that choice. He said
he didn't have the choice, but isn't that a dark aspect of the wrestling history?
Yes, that's why I said they should make a David Arquette episode.
Yeah. That's more what I meant. But I see what you're saying. But that goes to my point. Like, don't you think they're pigeonholing themselves because they've done such dark subject matter that they're out of the really shocking ones. So I feel like they're reaching out for more dark stuff that's maybe hearsay or maybe you hear on shoot interviews.
Kind of.
You can't really get because half the guys, but you can't really get that because a lot of those guys won't talk about it, or like. I feel like there's stories that they're just never going to get out of people because the people won't say them.
Well, wasn't also from hell like on the queue for this season? And they took it off.
Yeah. But see,
no, they didn't take it off. They didn't take it off. What they do is this is the halfway break of season 3.
Okay.
So then the new episode comes out in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It was just like all the other seasons. The halfway break, they only do 3 episodes and then they do 4 to finish it out.
It will be on there.
Yeah.
Who are they going to talk to?
Well, my thing is
That's Incredible was on there.
My thing is with the Ultimate Warrior, what stories do you not know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like you've never heard from the actual ex-wife, so I feel like that was a good aspect to hear from.
Yeah, but it's with the Macho Man one.
But the A&E one was already super dark, so I feel like they just felt like they had to be different because it had been done recently.
Right. Well, with the Macho Man Dark Side of the Ring, there was stuff that I didn't know that I learned from that. Yeah. I love that one. But with like the Ultimate Warrior, with all like the podcasts with like Bruce Pritchard, and everything like that, of everything of the Ultimate Warrior, so I think they lost the luster. But let's get back on track with Nick Gage.
Please.
Have you seen any Nick Gage's matches besides the David Arquette one?
No. I watched like I tried to dig up as much as I could from the one he had with Moxley, but that was about it.
Yo, that's the one with the pizza cutter.
Yeah.
Everything like that.
And he looks like a the whole time I was watching, I was like, he looks like Moxley's cousin. Like he could just be like Moxley's buddy.
I watched him. I think it was 2 years ago in ICW. It was like one of the first no holds barred where they had the chain ropes. He was opening match against Tessa Blanchard.
I heard about that. Yeah.
That match was unbelievable because he bumped for her and she bumped for him. They went all through the crowd up on the bar. He was bleeding. He ended up getting the win. But there was such a different dynamic of Nick Gage.
I guess you know more about this because you follow a lot of indie wrestling more than I do. So he has normal matches, right?
To an extent.
Okay. All right.
To an extent, yeah.
I said he should fight.
He says that
the less I talk to the better, guys.
Yeah, he said that
that's what I tell him when I talk to him. The less you talk,
the ratings have been fucking skyrocketing somehow.
He made the point that Gage should wrestle Matt Cardona in a normal wrestling match.
Oh, okay.
And go over.
And
then let
Cardona win in a death match.
Yeah, how fucking good would that be?
I like that.
Payoff? Kettle and Hell match.
Kendall and Hell match.
No, you were
No, I'm joking.
there, and then
no.
But I said no. I don't think I think they should both go over in their respected disciplines.
That does make wrestling sense.
Because of the fact that
doesn't it make more wrestling sense to flip it?
No.
I just agree with him half the time. Like he's right sometimes.
Because the only reason why I say that is Matt Cardona's never been in a death match. You cannot like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it should be two matches where they've both been
right. So like the first fall would be Cardona wins the normal wrestling match. Everyone knows that's going to happen. Gage wins the second match in a death match, and then the third one can be a whatever payoff you want it to be.
Fucking submission match.
Yeah.
But listen to what you said. Everybody knows that's going to happen. Flip it.
Because you're going to get more viewers that way if it goes to a. Oh, yeah, but
bro.
You're going to get more people to watch if I'd never seen the build up for it or anything, I see, Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, and against Nick Gage in a death match. I know I'm not going to watch it.
Can I ask you a question? Time out. WrestleMania a couple years ago,
mm-hmm.
Cardona winning the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody think that was going to happen?
Me, right here.
Yeah.
You thought that was going to happen?
You can ask my brother. We had people over. We had a huge.
Oh yeah, I'll call Miami Mike right away.
No, that's my cousin. You could ask.
Idiot.
So, dude, I was calling it the whole show.
You do?
Yeah, because it was in New York. I wasn't
even doing that. I was saying he was going to do it because I'm just ever since he started, dude, his theme song is hilarious. His whole thing in WWE I thought was very entertaining. So I just wanted him to win it. So when he won it, I wasn't even thinking logically like that. I was just like, this guy should win.
Because if you notice in those type of matches where it's like the Money in the Bank or mainly a Money in the Bank, if there's a hometown like person in that hometown wrestler usually goes over.
Yeah.
But so it's but a Nick Gage match, I mean, it's just raw violence. And I think this episode didn't catch on to the raw violence to where the New Jack one that they did last year showed him, throwing Vic Grimes, off the scaffolding and trying to kill him.
But they also showed you new stuff in that one. I agree with you. I was actually going to ask that when I was watching it. That was one of the things that it made me think because they would flash back to the obvious like influences like Terry Funk, Cactus Jack in Japan and stuff. But he's talking about story. He's talking about why he wanted to do this. I mean, Terry Funk and Cactus Jack weren't weren't throwing each other purposely into glass 2 minutes into the match, you know, like there was this there's this everyone that's a deathmatch person seems to have been influenced by that, and they always say that like I'm so influenced by the way they did it and all this stuff, but they're doing it in a way more extreme way than those guys did it. It became like almost like not a match anymore. Like even ECW got to that point, like I would say like 2000 on. There was still a semblance of at the top of the card, you knew you were going to get some crazy hardcore shit. But as the card went down, you were going to get a little bit more serious. There was a point to it. The titles meant something, like, and then, but the more you got on there, it was just straight to the violence, straight to the fucking grab a VCR from a fan and shit like that. So like, I've never noticed that until that. I was like, dude, there's a huge disconnect. Those Terry Funk matches are completely different pace, different. There's no reasoning to set up light bulbs, and like, it's a lot of. I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't like deathmatch wrestling, because it's almost putting it in your face that they're helping each other set these crazy things up, and the guy that's known for taking this is always going to take that, and he's never going to dish it out, and he's always going to put, and it's just like it. I don't know. It almost like kills psychology, but I like it. But it's not. They didn't hold true what other like regular, I guess regular wrestling. I don't know. Wrestling you see on TV holds true still, with like story, a reason for the headlock, a reason for this, a reason for this move. Like I feel like somewhere along the line they were just like, fuck it, that's what people want to see. They don't want to see the story.
I think I agree to a certain extent. I think that would have been like the deathmatch wrestling of like 2012, maybe 2013. But like deathmatch wrestling nowadays, they like, especially in ICW, or even something in No Peace Underground, which we're watching right now. There's reasons for their matches. There's storylines. There's a storyline going on right now where Casanova Valentine and Atticus Kogar have tried to get their hands. It's reminiscent of the '97 Hogan Sting, where Sting doesn't get it, put his hands on him for almost the whole year. They're always at the same venue. They always come out and they never clash. They never touch.
Got you. So I see your point, and I actually so like No Peace Underground and stuff, that when the company is like, that's their thing, like that's what they're famous for. I'm more speaking to like the really backyard stuff where people are just like, it's not that left the idea, I think, of what Terry Funk and Cactus Jack had a long time ago. Like they just do like straight up crazy shit.
Right.
Well, it's funny because like Nick Gage and those guys apparently like hate people in the ECW world because they said they took it too far. That was in an interview from Nick Gage. Or that was in a Dark Side of the Ring. They were talking about
it. In what way though?
I don't know. I didn't say.
I will say.
I just heard it and I was like, okay, so these guys who are cutting each other and throwing each other lights who think ECW took it too far. But I understand.
Yeah, dude, like nobody
Jack throwing big crimes 40 feet off a fucking balcony.
Yeah,
I can understand.
But that was also not that was just a mistake, and that's
no, that was attempted murder.
That was attempted murder.
That was attempted murder.
No, he threw him off. The guy knew he was going to get thrown off, though.
Huh?
No, the guy knew he was going to get thrown off, though.
Yeah, no, but New Jack aimed to kill. Like he says it.
I get that part. What I'm saying is those are a lot more isolated incidents than I feel that most people like. Dude, nobody got gutted. Like there was no show in ECW.
Oh, the fat kid who was Eric Gulas.
But was that an ECW show?
Yeah, it was an ECW house show.
Okay. Well, he was stabbed. So was it this kid that was stabbed?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, mass transit.
Yeah.
I think what Nick Gage was talking about when he says ECW took it too far, a little too extreme, was a lot of their like sex appeal, like and you only see it every once in a while in deathmatch wrestling now. I think maybe ECW was ahead of its time for it. And you know,
I can see that.
Yeah, it was every match. There was always something, you know.
Right.
With Dawn Marie, Francine, Beulah, Jazz, you know.
And that was everyone's like if you watch shoot interviews from that time, that was everybody's complaint about it when like if they were guys that were on TV, they would always be like, well, there's no rules, there's no like what do you like at some point you got to have a match, but then you can't have a match with rules because the whole show and the fans know that it's just whatever.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if Nick Gage, now that we're getting back on topic, can you imagine if Nick Gage was around in the heyday of ECW?
Yeah, but see, with that, do you think he would have pushed more to do maybe more like normal matches or matches with stipulations where he could still do hardcore shit, but more as a high spot? Than
Yeah,
like,
I definitely think so. But just the matches alone, I mean, you just run down the list. Maybe not so much Sandman because I think they would clash too much. I could see him in like a tag team with like New Jack going up against the FBI.
yeah,
Instead of having New Jack, you know, with different, you know, like Spike Dudley or you get him like the original gangsters kind of.
Yeah. New Jack was definitely like put with the rain. I mean, I think so, yeah, because then it would have given it would have made New Jack's like basically what New Jack has been known for mean more, I guess, because like Nick Gage would have had to been in there, so it would have pulled him back. So then you get that heat, and then the fans are just waiting for that crazy motherfucker. As crazy as that guy is, there's one crazier. So like, yeah, dude, I think that would have been pretty sick.
And the only reason why I always bring up New Jack when I talk Nick Gage is back in 97, 98, when New Jack came to the ring, when Natural Born Killers hit the the sound system, everyone just started just jumping and just cheering and you know, singing the lyrics of the song. And now when Nick Gage comes out and his song starts playing, everyone swarms him, and he like, you know, it's a gang. It's a gang, and he literally just bounced. That is a direct comparison with New Jack.
Yeah, no, and it's
Murder, Death, Kill, MDK.
But see, that's the other thing that kind of set. I think that's why he got so set apart from the guys in like the backyard stuff. Is like a lot of those guys do the same thing, but Nick Gage, when he does a bigger show, he was able to put it together more like it's more of like what your eyes are used to, like a song, a crazy entrance. Like it's more made for. It's embellished even more if you can even imagine somebody that crazy being embellished even more, but for camera.
I find it fucking nuts that CZW kept bringing this guy back after he robbed the bank and like went to prison. Like they just keep bringing this fucking guy back. Like Jesus, I guess it's full tickets, man. No, I mean he has a following. It's fucking nuts. Like Slap has a following. I'm one of those fucking crazy ones, but.
But do you think it was more what's that guy Lauderdale, the owner, like
Brett Lauderdale?
Brett Lauderdale.
I think. I mean, I got the sense from the documentary that he actually kind of gives a shit about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is wild. It's crazy things like this keep bringing this guy back.
Yeah. Because if you,
it's a direct comparison to the Ultimate Warrior. Then you know if he keeps bringing him back. I mean, WWE and /F kept bringing Ultimate Warrior back.
Yeah.
You know, you knew he had a drug problem. You knew he had steroids, but he brought in money.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
Nick Gage brought in money.
Yeah.
I mean, figuratively and literally. I mean, he robbed a bank, but he brought in money for GCW. He brought all this in because of his following, his cult following.
Yeah.
He can't rob a bank, but he
line in the show. Can we say the greatest line in the show? Moxley, where he's like, Moxley's on there smiling. He's like, yo, I can't believe this guy wears a bandana to the ring every night. But the moment he goes to rob a bank, no bandana, right in the camera.
Dude, yeah, he can't rob a bank, but he can sure steal the show.
Jesus. Wear your bandana, man. What's wrong with you, dude? What are you doing?
No, because then they would have been like, are you Nick Gage? And he was
right. Throw him off the scent of the trail.
I gotta be different, dude. So yeah, it's tough. But dude, that's the thing with a lot of this stuff is like, if it makes money, oh yeah, it's crazy, it's bullshit, but you booked it, so.
And you know what? In the early days of Nick Gage being in high profile matches in deathmatch wrestling, it was a lot more gory. It was a lot more, pizza cutter-esque, and everything. Nowadays, it's just light tubes, tables, chairs. I say it's just like that, but I mean, I've seen gusset blades. I've seen, I've seen everything. But it's kind of
Austin and Alex Ocean fucking killed each other down in Madison and Brew. Jesus Christ, man.
Dude,
This deathmatch is no joke at all.
Dude, the new ways that they use to is definitely always interesting to me. Like the rows of chairs that they organize and stuff like that. I've always been a sucker for those spots because yeah, you can do that, but it's almost like what people used to say about NASCAR. They're like, you watch it because there's gonna be there's gonna be a literal car wreck. So like you watch it and you think they set it up as good as they feel comfortable with, but at the end of the day, the ring moves around, those chairs move around, you move around.
Yeah.
And as a fan, or even as like if you know what's going on, because even I'm like, how's he gonna land on that? That's gonna suck. Like,
I mean, prime example this past weekend in the Will Austin Alex Ocean match. Will was hanging from the rafter, and he actually like spun a different direction than what I thought he should have. But if you look at it on camera a certain way, it looks a lot better.
It was weird.
It was weird when he in person, but on camera, the way he lands, it was, I mean, spot on, perfect. But even Bo Taven even said that he goes, hey, you spun off a little weird off the the roof there. You almost missed the table, but that's just how it is.
Dude, yeah, that's. I mean, there's your adrenaline's going, and you're trying to be as spot on as possible, but there's always something. That's why, dude, you watch that shit and you're like, I mean, something can happen, I guess. That's the whole allure of it, right? Is because that's what you want.
Right. And it's getting back to the episode, Joe touched on the greatest line that Moxley said. How about the one line that Nick Gage says when he goes, oh, the glass just nicked David Arquette? He goes, did I just fucking kill David Arquette? And he starts acting like a pussy and starts freaking out. He goes, it wasn't leaking, it was a little cuts.
Meanwhile, the video's like showing like gushing out.
Oh yeah, I actually bought that pay-per-view. I bought it. That was the same pay-per-view that Marco Stunt was in a it was like a 6-way or something like that. He went to go do like a moonsault or something, and someone was supposed to catch him, and when he landed, he snapped his lower leg, and they had to stop. He was out of the match. They had to stop the show because they had to get the paramedics through the crowd on the stretcher. It was a compound fracture. It went through his bottom of his kneecap. That's the reason why sometimes he ends up like kind of like bow-legged when he jumps off the rope. And he's always in an ankle brace because it just can give way.
Once you fuck your leg up like that, there's no
there's nothing that you can
what's going on over there, Joe?
Hat you were wearing. I was looking at what hat he was wearing.
Oh,
what are you wearing?
Yeah, you're going. You go back. And
I know. I've been trying to keep it in the light.
Goes into the green screen. I think it's cool. Whatever. Yeah, dude. Like, there's so much about like. I mean, it's obviously like a weird thing, right? But like, I was watching it too, and I was like, why? This is just like really a run of the mill story. If you think about like Darkside of the Ring stuff, like something really bad happened, and this guy like kind of tore his life apart. And but the David Arquette, it seemed like a bigger deal to me in the trailer. Then they ran through it, and it was just like, okay, I guess like this is just poorly booked. I guess like what am I? Yeah, I was definitely way more excited because of the trailer, and then I watched it, and I was like, this is fucking crazy. But
yeah, it's almost like every Star Wars movie ever. It just gets it skips over everything just so you can get to the end.
Yeah, yeah, it's so weird. It's like I don't know how to describe it. It was like I'm watching this maybe are we desensitized to it at this point? Like watching this crazy shit, but like it I don't know. Like there like what parts of it made you feel like were you a big Nick Gage fan before he stabbed David Arquette or were you not?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched him.
Joe goes, no.
I knew of him. I watched him on what is it? Tournament of Death on CCW. I've watched him do with
the one that he died at.
Yes, that was the one that was in the field in the Delaware field on the ring.
See, that one's badass. Like, why wouldn't you end like that? That was like I was like, holy fuck. And they showed it right at the beginning. So I'm like digesting this information that this guy's such a gamer that he wants to go back out there and he's literally bleeding out at the show. And but then okay, that's crazy. But then you show him robbing a bank, like
yeah, it's I think it was probably one of the worst episodes that they've made, but also the best too, because you know you don't hear a lot of Nick Gage's like prior history in his prior life. You just know he was in jail. You didn't know why, and everything like that. There was speculations, and such, but like you said, they just skimmed right over everything. It was like they were on an intercoastal and they're in a no wake zone. Then all of a sudden they get to David Arquette and it's just like, okay, bows up, go.
Yeah, here we go. Let's go. Like because there was a part 2 where like they were talking about his relapse or why he went back to jail or something like that. And oh, the piss test. He was using somebody else's piss. So the interviewer the Nick Gage, and then they cut to Lauderdale and he goes, what did he tell you? And it was like, oh, okay. And then you see the subtitles and they say he told us it was because of he had somebody else's urine on him and stuff. It's like, okay, well that's part of it. And then they barely touch on it. Like that's the stuff that you dive deep in, no? Like have you seen it behind the music? Like what the fuck? Like that's what I want to know. I know he's a deathmatch wrestler. I want the crazy that's why I think the Macho Man one is good. I think the Von Erich was we know they were great workers. That's a reason why we want to watch this documentary because I want more on the shit I don't know.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And there was a lot left on the table that I think that they still could have served us if they wanted to.
Do you think that's because maybe like the people in the documentary weren't being forthcoming anyway, or maybe they were like shit to work with that they just had to work around, like maybe not getting the information they needed in interviews? Because you can only interview somebody so many times, and you're like, this person's not gonna.
Well, I think from what I've read and heard about Brett Lauderdale is he's not really a great guy to work for, anyways. So it could have been just kind of standoffish. It's like, oh, what did he tell you? Oh, okay, we'll go with that.
He did seem like out of all the people they interviewed, you could tell like that's why I was like I picked up on that he was close to him, but it was strange when they got to the P test part because like everybody else interviewed was talking about Nick like as a like isn't this crazy? This is what he did. Like I know this guy, but like Lauderdale made it I don't even know how to describe it. He made it like he was being dramatic for you, so you would want to watch a lot. Like he was trying to put himself over in a weird way with the interviews, like
right.
But then he could have. I mean, if that's the thing, then maybe he wasn't the one that was forthcoming. I don't know. I feel like there were a couple factors because you have such like it's such a crazy topic, but I do think it's good for. I think it's good for TV fans that watch Dark Side of the Ring as like a guilty pleasure. I think it's good for the indies, and I think it's good for a lot of those guys that actually. I mean, even for Nick Gage, who's a guy who seems like after all the crazy shit, he's actually like a pretty stand-up guy. He wants to work his ass off for somebody, and he loves it.
Definitely dope. He got his life back together.
Yeah,
it's definitely.
Yeah, dude. Like that was the best part. Like, like you'd watch all the crazy shit, but they weren't showing you enough crazy shit. So like, at least you had like that he's okay now,
right?
Which I think is great because people that like there's a difference between TV fans and just TV fans, and they don't really dive into the biz or anything like that. I think it's good for indie wrestling. I think it's good to show some
look at the rubs that he's getting. Look at the rubs he's getting. Look at the rubs he's getting now. He's getting John Moxley.
What I'm saying is I think once
you're getting Matt Cardona showing up and like just the crowd going wild.
Right.
And Nick Gage now, a guy who did 7 years in prison, you know, like
it's over as shit, dude. Like
over as shit, like one of the biggest indie stars. Like WWE knows who the fuck Nick Gage is. It's no fucking secret.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's what I was getting to.
That's
is like
amazing.
it's good for. It shows you that not. It's. I don't know. I feel like there's this like. Standard.
You don't have to conform to society to make yourself like no.
Well, that's why. Like, I feel like there's this standard like weird like bottom line for TV wrestling fans where they just won't
like
cross.
stigma. It's a stigma. Like you
Because
just say it like it is.
Wrestling, so you think it's like, so you think, oh, they do what? Like that's not like. I think it's good. I think it's good to watch all of it, especially for TV fans. So then they know better that the shit they're watching on TV is garbage when it's garbage. You know, like
Right.
I feel like the feedback would be so much better for the fucking top companies if you made it seem like all wrestling was something people should check out at least once, dude. Like,
and I honestly, Joe and I were literally having this conversation yesterday about Tony Khan is literally breaking down the fourth wall in the professional wrestling world. Last night they said for their TNA pay-per-view against all odds, it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Moose. But Tony Khan said, oh, since you're allowing my AEW champion on your program, then I think we should have this championship match in Daly's place. So it's like, and you're seeing Tony Khan, you're seeing the Good Brothers on multiple channels.
Compromise. What a strange idea in the wrestling business. Fucking compromise.
Yeah, and it's
for the
just
fun, for the fan.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Why would we do that?
Why would we want to give the fans what they want? You know, but again, Joe and I think it was one of our last shows we did together. It was around the time that Omega made his appearance on Impact. The ratings came out the next week, and it was the biggest rating show that Impact has ever had in the past 10 years. And look what it's doing for both shows. It's growing one show. This whole Kenny Omega and showing up on Impact is getting more eyes on their talent. Like just last week, Josh Alexander and TJP had an Iron Man match that will go down as one of the matches of the year.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was pretty brutal, and it was stiff too. Mm-hmm. I mean, Alexander had a shiner, and he was like gashed up under his eye. It was a pretty brutal match.
I will say that about I mean, now we're kind of off topic, but we've kind of established that the documentary was I guess a little flatter than we were hoping.
And we've done 3 of these episodes, and everyone knows what happens towards the middle and end. Like we always get off topic, and
then we'll close it out. But
a normal thing.
Yeah. Our editor does really good editing skills. Like it's just.
I'm hoping you just edit me out, like just.
There's going to be a giant blur on the left side of the.
Can you distort his voice too? Like that'd be like, oh,
yeah, like you're.
Like he's on Cops. And he doesn't want to get.
Did that. If you didn't come back, we should have did a cut to we have a random guest, but he can't divulge his name, and it's just you. All you see is the Marlins hat, and then dark backlit and like distorted voice.
All right, take 2.
You know what you should do? You know what would have been great if you had that, and then he's eating and he moves away, and his fucking face appears.
Run it back.
Throw the burrito. You got to throw the burrito.
Yeah, build it again. Do it again.
But no, we were talking about like how Nick Gage puts eyes on this episode's going to put eyes on deathmatch wrestling. Anytime Nick Gage, is going to be wrestling somewhere, I guarantee you his Google searches after the show was through the roof.
YouTube,
Twitter,
IG jump.
So they're going to follow him on social media and see where he's going to wrestle next.
And now that becomes more, I think with a lot of stuff, it's I have this theory that it's because of the production quality. Like hardcore TV fans see TV and they don't like to see anything else because it looks like shit at first to them. Like it's just like, why would I keep? You lose your attention. I mean, we've all seen stuff that's like it's poorly edited or whatever. You're just like, I'm out. Like, so I think a lot of these companies don't have the access to make that happen, so they lose a lot of fans like that. But I think stuff like this humanizes the people involved, so then you have more of a connection and you'll watch it.
I think also you said the quality of matches and everything like that. Something came to mind. 21 years ago today, it was Vampiro and Sting at Great American Bash in the Human Light Torch match.
In the Light Torch match, which was a fucking rip-off Inferno match.
Yes.
And it was so bad. And I love Vampiro. I was a huge Vampiro fan as a kid, but that was fucking awful. That was terrible. I just watched that pay-per-view too.
His U-shoot areas are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of those. I just recently watched that pay-per-view. That was also a terrible pay-per-view and a terrible match, but what an interesting time. You know, speaking of shitty production quality, fucking WCW in 2000.
Wait, is that when he threw Sting off the thing?
Yes, off the Titantron on fire. Yes.
Yeah, it was the show. Yeah.
And the problem is when they put the
Wait, it wasn't Sting though.
No, it wasn't. It was a stuntman.
Yeah.
Right.
And like it was super obvious that it was a stunt.
Yeah, the guy was like 40 pounds heavier than Sting. Yeah. Like it was just the weird.
Scott Norton in black and white face paint.
Speaking of Scott,
you would think that wouldn't be that hard to just make a guy look like Sting off camera.
Yeah, grab Lance Storm. Hey, come here, kid.
Dude, I just watched the when they started the thing where Sting had joined the NWO, but it wasn't Sting. And when they first show it, looked fine. He comes out, he beats up Lex Luger or whatever. He's moving kind of fast. You're like, it's a little off, but it kind of looks like Sting. Then at the fucking pay-per-view, when they're trying to get it over, they show an even closer angle of the dude that's fake Sting. And it's like, why would you show? That's obviously not Sting.
Amazing production. I can't believe they're not this anymore.
Yeah, it was. Well, you also too remember when they had the fake Sting initially, when the NWO only had like 4 or 5 members. They showed him getting out of a limo one time, and they still had the mask on and everything like that. And you can see it moves to the side, and he didn't have his face paint on underneath. So it's like, oh, come on, man. This was in '97. Like, it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it just got worse. It just got worse and worse.
Oh, it's pretty bad. Speaking of Scott Norton, he's going to be on ICW in July in Indianapolis. He's going to be doing. On Saturday they have their deathmatch show, but on Friday nights they have their pit fighter where it's in an octagon.
Oh, Joe, if you keep working out, you can fight Scott Norton. You're about to.
Oh no, I'm going for Dr. Eric Crystal,
baby. Okay, I don't think you need to work out that much for that.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think so.
Not one Scott Norton.
He's gonna be upset that you don't have faith in him.
I mean, I have faith in him to lose.
I'll talk about Wrestling Paradox podcast.
Now there's 2 of them. Now I'm not even going to get my point across even more. We're just rambling now. We should close it out. Joe, say something stupid.
That's you.
Say something stupid.